what in the hell is going on with Blade over at Marvel, right? So this is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter, guys, and so they're pausing Blade right now amid the search of the new director. We didn't report on it, but last a week or two ago, the director walked away, and there was murmurs then about the Mahershala Ali, multiple Academy Award winning Mahershala Ali, blessing to humanity Mahershala Ali. Beautiful black man, Mahershala Ali, is now upset with Marvel and is thinking, I hear that he may walk away from this project. And as we get more and more news, Shane, as this comes out, I mean, I'm feeling more and more like if I'm Mahershala Ali, I'm thinking, oh, man, it may be time for me to step away from this. So again, this is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. So, and we're going to get in a little more about the pushbacks, but the big thing that I want to talk about today is that they've pushed back Blade, specifically in this topic. I want to talk about that they've pushed back Blade from November 3rd, 2023 to now September 6th, 2024. That's a whole, over a half of a year,
It's almost a full year.
It's almost a full year. And this is the maybe third or fourth time they pushed back Blade. Shane, I told you that it was, I believe, CinemaCon maybe 2018, 2019, that they, come strutting Mahershala Ali out on stage to tell us that he was going to be the MCU's new Blade. And we talked about this a little bit just before the show. And in my opinion, I'm thinking, you bring on a guy like, again, multiple Academy Award winning actor, Mahershala Ali. You bring in a guy like this, don't you have something kind of already, an idea? Oh, well, we've already been thinking how we'd introduce Blade. Is that you don't bring the guy in with just, hey, we think you'd be good playing Blade, right? That's not how you start a movie. That's not how you start something. Typically we say all the time that you start with a good character, which you got Blade, right? And then you need a good story. So they should have, in my opinion, had some sort of...
Oh, I guarantee you there was some sort of script or something that attracted all these people. Even like the Hellraiser we were just watching, that sat in development hell for a decade.
Sure.
There was multiple scripts. This is going to be the new Hellraiser. This is going to be the new Hellraiser. I bet Blade was whether it was just a treatment or a synopsis or even a full script or half a script, there was something to attract these people. But I think what's going on is the organism that is Marvel Cinematic Universe and the ever-changing mini cooks that are, and we kind of talked about this with Feige not being involved as much, so we're not having one voice kind of controlling it all. And, I feel that, the director, when he left, his reasoning was, it just seemed really kind of sketchy, just kind of a made-up reason, because he doesn't leave the project. He still stays on as an executive producer, but
Right.
It says that he's not able to work things out, even though they already have the cast, even though already a script, I guess, if you're casting, you got to have a script.
Well, they were already in the process of doing some filming. And that's why I was telling you that there was murmurs that, Mahershala Ali was looking at a script for a Blade movie, and there's only 2 fight scenes or maybe 3 fight scenes that are like 30 seconds to a minute long. And like I was saying, he had done all this martial arts training and all this stuff to do these stunts. And he wants, in his mind, he thinks, that he wants this kind of badass Blade movie, right? And I think that's all what we all kind of want, is this badass Blade movie. And the thing is I don't know if we're gonna get it, guys. I mean, with the way things are right now, with the director walking away, with them putting this on pause, and I mean, who knows when this is gonna, come back around. I mean, the thing is, guys, is I seen something from Variety this morning talking about how they already have their answer if they really wanted to Blade's director's problems, and that's the guy that directed Werewolf by Night, right? Or there's so many options, you know. I mean, Guillermo del Toro would probably come back and direct a Blade. But my point is that this isn't about not being able to find another director to come in and direct Blade. You know, if you think about when Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange 2, it wasn't very long after that they announced that they were going to bring in Sam Raimi. And that's because they already had an idea that they were going to bring in Sam Raimi and that they had these differences with Scott Derrickson. So as soon as the thing with Derrickson happened, the transition happened and it was seamless. This is clearly a situation where they did not know or have any idea that there was going to be these creative differences until they're right here now in our face. And like I said, happened what I was, from what my understanding is, in the middle of shooting. I mean, if you see here in the article itself, they're saying that they actually had to shut down production in Atlanta, where the project, where principal main photography would have started just here in November. Then okay, but so they were already setting things up and getting ready to start filming there, and so they had to bring, you know, all that to a halt so they could figure this thing out with their director. Here's my thoughts on it. Overall is that it's really disappointing to me. I mean, as a guy who, you know, I often give credit to X-Men, the first X-Men movie and that first Spider-Man movie, to being really the catalyst for what we have as comic book movies here today. But the truth is, Shane, and I know you know this, is that Blade was the very first, you know, comic book material that was having success and making what I think we would call good films in the box office.
You know, not only that, but you know, it's been a no-brainer for Marvel to bring back Blade, and then you cast Ali. I mean, this is just like
match made in heaven.
No kidding. And so you have, I guarantee you, if we go, you know, to like Manhattan, walk the streets in New York and ask, you know, 1,000 people, you know, what's your favorite comic book movie? I bet you 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 is going to say Blade. Because that's how good that movie is. It still holds up. It's still people's favorite movie today, where it's like, yeah, you know, Endgame was cool.
Just kicks ass. You know?
Remember that scene in Blade? You know, it's just, you know.
I was just mentioning to you the other day, the one where he falls into the pool of blood to regenerate himself.
Yeah, right.
Like,
you know,
it's just so iconic to me. Like, I just always remember things like that.
Exactly. So, you know, it's been a no-brainer. Why isn't this thing made? They you know, announced it 5 years ago. It's now getting delayed another year. You know, they're barely into production. And, you know, I think as someone like Ali, who's had success, you know, massive success outside, you know, in critically, you know, the Academy Awards, and you know, he's obviously an artist, and he's obviously wants to do Blade because it's fun, and, you know, it'd be a great fun part, but as an artist, it's not going to fulfill him other than, hey, this is something that's going to be cool. And, you know, when you start booting your director and you start, you know, and this isn't the first time, you mentioned it, it's becoming this kind of plug and play at Marvel. Oh, this director is upset, we'll bring in this one. And, you know, as a artist myself, you know, you want to cast your own film. You want to, you know, see who your characters are and bring in your own art director and editor. But instead, you know, they're bringing in, you know, these professionals that, you know, are almost like gig contract workers rather than directors and artists and auteurs. And, you know, someone like Ali, who is an artist, you know, probably is just like, why am I sticking around for this? I don't even know who they're going to bring in.
Right.
I've already had all this time one-on-one with the director. You know, we were on the same page. Now I got to start from scratch. Right. You know, I could be making this. I could be making that. You know, I got plenty of Oscars to win over here.
Right. Let me throw this at you, Shane. When they cast Mahershala Ali, when they brought him out at CinemaCon and told us about it, he was 42 years old.
Right? I mean, this guy's not getting younger.
When this movie comes out, he will be 50.
Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to be, you know, half vampire. Right, so, I mean, ageless, essentially, you know. So, you know, So, I think they have a slam dunk here, and they just keep calling timeouts. And it's just like,
put it in the hole, man.
Just put it in the hole.
Gosh.
Now you're getting the crowd that's just like, come on,
no
guy.
doubt.
It's almost like Avatar 2, right? Whereas it's like,
right. And then you got your star player upset now too, right? And that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to upset Kobe.
Exactly.
You don't want LeBron mad at you. You want to. That's the one thing you want to do, man. Is you want to make sure that your star is happy because he's the guy that's going to bring people in. He's what we're excited about, right? I mean, if I'm just going to say this right now, if Mahershala Ali walks away from Blade, I hope they just shut down the Blade. I hope they let's be done with it. Because the truth is, to me, is that the only reason that Blade was even an idea was because Mahershala Ali was willing to do it. I mean, again, it's a match made in heaven, but you take Ali away, I don't want to see a Michael B. Jordan Blade or whatever. I don't know what
that'd
it
be
is.
Pretty cool.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't. It'll take 10 years. Michael B. Jordan will be 65, and I don't want to see it. I don't care.
I don't think Marvel has a problem just recasting and moving on, and because
I don't know, man. Marvel's
past.
never been in a situation like this. The fact of the matter is if Mahershala Ali walks away from this situation, they're not going to know what the hell to do. They're going to be like, what do we do here? Should we scrap it? Should we recast? Because I think either way you go, you got people pissed off, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do. I think what you got to do right now, the main focus of Disney and Kevin Feige has got to be make sure Mahershala Ali is happy.
No kidding.
Do what it takes. Tell him, hey man, look, we're really sorry. We're.
It's such a strange situation though too, because the director steps away but stays on the project. I mean, an executive producer, that's not an easy job either. I mean, I can understand how demanding directing is, but, usually when you're pissed off with management, you just give him the middle finger and walk away. But in this situation, it's almost like he's just stepping aside. And so then it almost feels like, it's higher up interference as well, where, maybe they saw some dailies, they're already in production. They weren't satisfied. They want to bring in someone else. So we have no idea. And then, as an actor, as, an artist, you don't want studio involvement, and again, when you bring in a new director, I was telling you about The Offer, the TV show on Paramount Plus that I absolutely love. Half that show's about them satisfying the director by casting the people he wants. And so, you do all this work, you get this great cast, and then it just falls apart as soon as it gets made from a company like Marvel. It just, I have no idea what's going on. It just seemed very weird, because usually if there's a directing shift like this, I wasn't aware it was already in production, that they were already starting to film, and so therefore there were dailies. I'm going to have to go out on a limb and just guess that Marvel itself was dissatisfied with the director. That's probably what pissed off Ali. It was like, hey, man, that's our man. That's who our captain is. My captain, our captain,
Yep.
And hey, I got his back, and you can't treat someone like this. And so I think there's a lot of, deeper levels that we'll probably never know.
Yeah, that's true. There'll always be some of that, but it's just disappointing to hear, right? Because again, like you said, it seems like you got it all, right? It's like, you got,
Swish.
You're down. It's just you and Chris Paul, and he's just lobbed you one at the rim.
No kidding.
What are you doing? Jump up there, grab it, and throw it in. It's just really simple, man. And so when you're not, it's hard. It's frustrating as a fan, because again, especially for me, because Tomb of Dracula is one of my favorite comics, and I do really love Blade, and those original Blade movies were really what drew me in originally to those kind of movies, and not to mention, man, I mean, when's the last time we've had a really good vampire movie? There was a time when I was a kid that vampire movies were like really good. You know,
Well,
like,
then they got really teen and love oriented because the Twilight series,
the Twilight saga,
so that really
whatnot.
turned vampires. Well, the thing with vampires, you know, there's kind of these two camps. This is when it comes to vampire fans. You're obviously of the Nosferatu. Vampires should be monsters and killers, and I want to feel scared. But then there's also the universal Dracula approach, where he's a lover. He's going to woo Mia and, you know, seduce her. And so you kind of that's kind of what evolved to the Twilight. I'm never going to watch a Twilight movie, but they do honor the idea of what the vampire was, seducing women, attracting them, and even the readers themselves are seduced by these vampires.
What's the one with the dude that's got the dick gun?
The dick gun.
Yeah. And
have I seen this?
Yeah, it's like it was directed by somebody kind of big. Like,
okay.
I want to say Tarantino or something. Like, is it?
Oh yes, you're talking about.
God, I love that movie.
Is it Dead by? No, that's the video game. But it's something with.
No, God.
Because they have to survive the night. Yes, from dusk till dawn.
See, like when I was a kid,
Robert Rodriguez.
Yes, when I seen that movie when I was a kid,
that was very cool.
Oh, I remember thinking, oh, this is like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, man. And even like, it
might be my favorite Clooney movie.
Yeah, and I hate Clooney.
Me
really.
too.
Yeah, and he's the one with the D gun.
Yeah, that's right.
And anyways, I always loved, like I said, those style of movies, and I thought they were very actiony and gory, because you know me, I'm not a big action fan, but I always loved the action in vampire movies. I love the Blade.
That definitely is very action packed, and it's because they're nodding to those 70s exploitation films, and which they love, and because of them we all love now. So you know, it was very trend setting to bring back that style, the grindhouse, you know, very violent but action oriented style. You're right. You know, vampires are, you know, where, you know, a lot of these killers are slow and lumbering, like Jason, or, you know, Freddy can disappear and stuff like that, but vampires can run up walls, they're fast, some of them can fly.
So many scary things.
Yeah, they have so many supernatural powers, and you know, there's still so much richness to delve into the vampire universe. Think about like a Lord of the Rings vampire thing, where you know, each vampire is a different race, so it's like only these vampires can fly, or only these vampires can, you know, and it's, you know, just this world of different like vampires.
Game of Thrones.
Heck yeah, now we're talking.
Right. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always said, you know, and I think you probably agree to this, is that you know, vampires make everything better. You know, it really does. Vampires are just cool, man. They're inherently cool. They're one of the coolest things like ever thought of by man, in my opinion. They are like superheroes. They can be, or they could be super villains because they're powered, but they live forever. They
can even be psychological thrillers. There's this George Romero film. I'm trying to think of the name. It's just the man's name, like Eddie or something. Damn it, why can't I think of this? But it's a vampire movie. Vampire being this kid thinks he's a vampire, and so he goes around and he drains people's bloods and kills them. And you know, and he acts like he's nocturnal and stuff, even though he's just a regular kid.
Sure.
And so it's creepy like that too, where it's just like, oh man, you know, vampires became such a lure that even, you know, us people, like you said, we love them. It makes everything better.
Right.
Vincent, what was the damn? I'm gonna look it up. You can cut away from me.
But yeah, I really enjoy good vampire movies. So it would be good to see this movie, man. I really want to see Blade get made. I'm really disappointed that we're in this scenario, but hey, guys, it is what it is. And hopefully we get through this, and on the other side, we have Mahershala Ali as Blade still. Because I think at the end of the day, as fans, that's all we really care about. Like, we could give a damn, honestly, who directs this movie, I think. I mean, they could let Mahershala Ali direct it, and we'd be like, yeah, that's probably the right choice. Because we really just want Mahershala Ali to be Blade. And I think as long as that continues, then we'll be happy. And you know, we'll just have to see where this goes. So, guys, what do you guys think? Have you heard this news about Blade being pushed almost a whole nother year? The director walking away, Mahershala Ali maybe, you know, not so happy with the situation? Let us know down in the comment section below, guys, what you guys think.